Vision of Vasambika in Kurvapuram. Om Sai Ram. We three wanted to do meditation in accordance with the instructions of Sri Palani Swami. Sri Palani Swami said, "My dear Madhav, my dear Shankar, let all the three of us meditate. We can then discuss about our spiritual experiences felt during our meditation. As this is the order of Sri Pad Sri Vallabh, we will definitely have the experience of some spiritual turning point in the future. In the future, the Christian calendar will be in use. According to the Christian calendar, today, Friday, May 25th, 1336 is a completely auspicious day with high yogic powers. This day will be of special significance in our lives. I will leave my physical body here and go to Kurvapuram in my subtle body. It is a child's play for me to roam in 4 or 5 places at the same time in my subtle form. We will all remain in the meditation of Sri Pad Sri Vallabha. When his permission is granted, I will reach Kurvapuram in my subtle body." The way to access Swami's grace. On hearing the words of Palani Swami, I wondered and said, "Swami, Madhav saw the divine auspicious form of Sri Vallabha, and you are always in communion with Sri Vallabha in your subtle forms. But I know only his name but not his form. How can I meditate upon him?" Palani Swami smiled and said, "My boy, if you have devotion for Sri Pad Sri Vallabha, everything can be achieved. A tortoise protects its children with thought waves even if they are left at a very far away place. A cat carries its kitten from one house to another, keeping them in its mouth. It will keep them in a place that is considered safe. In the same way, at first, he will rule his devotees with the tortoise offspring justice. After some progress, he will rule them with cat offspring justice. Later, they will be ruled with monkey offspring justice. Here, there is the necessity of the offspring to hold on to its mother with effort. After some more advancement, the devotees behave like the small fish which roam freely behind their mother wherever it goes. When you sit for meditation, my dear, he will give darshan to you. Sri Vallabha wanted to take an important decision for the future. So he wanted me to go over to Kurvapuram in my subtle body on this auspicious day. As soon as I receive his orders during meditation, I will at once proceed to Kurvapuram. Some important incident is going to take place there. Lord Sri Datta has granted me the unique opportunity of witnessing that event completely with my eyes." Saying so, he went into meditation. Madhav and myself also took to meditation soon after. Meditation went on like this for 10 long hours. All of us became our normal selves curiously at the same time. After meditation, Sri Palani Swami was in very high spirits. Madhav and I requested Sri Palani Swami to narrate his experience during the meditation. He narrated it with all smiles in the following manner. The story of Shiv Sharma, the result from meditation of Sri Pad Sri Vallabha. How fortunate are the people living in this Kaliyug. Kurvapuram is a small village. A Vedic scholar and pious Brahmin named Shiv Sharma, who recognized the greatness of Shripad, was living there along with his wife Ambika. Theirs was the only Brahmin family in Kurvapuram. Daily he used to cross the river and earn money through acts appropriate for Brahmins to earn a living. After making some money, he used to return to Kurvapuram. He belonged to the lineage of sage Kashyap. Shiv Sharma was a great scholar, a strict adherent of religious practices, and belonged to the Yajurveda sector. All his earlier children died with a very short time after their birth. At last, one son survived. Unfortunately, the last son was a dull-headed. Shiv Sharma became weak and sick as a skeleton due to the distress caused by the useless child. One day, he recited Veda in the presence of Sri Vallabha and afterwards stood silent. Shripad noticed the sorrow in his mind and with a gentle smile he said, Shiv Sharma, I am a slave to those who forget all worries and constantly meditate upon me. Tell me about your desire. For that Shiv Sharma said, Swami, I wished that my son should become a great scholar and an orator than me. All my aspirations became futile. My son became an incorrigible idiot. Being omnipotent, it is not difficult for you to make him a learned and a useful person. I leave it to your kind will. Sripada said, My dear Shiv Sharma, nobody can escape the fruits of his past deeds. The entire creation is moving subject to unbreakable laws. A woman gets her husband as the fruit of her worship. She gets children as the fruit of donations made by her. One should always donate to deserving people. Donations made to unworthy persons bring undesirable results. If food is offered to a good-natured person, the donor of food derives some part of the merit accruing from the good deeds performed by the good person. Donation should be made without arrogance, then only it gives good results. On account of the past karma, you got a dull-witted son. You couple wanted a child with a long span of life. You did not want a short-lived child. So, I granted you a son with a complete span of life. According to the rule of karma, to make him a suitable scholar by destroying his previous life's sins, you will have to sacrifice your life. If you are prepared to sacrifice your life, I will make your son a worthy scholar. For that, Shiv Sharma replied, Swami, I entered a old age already, and I am ready to sacrifice my life. What more can I wish other than my son becomes a great scholar and a speaker like Brihaspati? Then the omnipotent Shripad Sri Vallabha declared, Yes, you will die soon. After death, you will remain for some time in the subtle body and undertake penance in an underground cave at the foot of a neem tree in Dishila town. Afterwards, you will take birth in the holy land of Maratha. Do not reveal this to your wife under any circumstances. Revealing the future birth of Shripad Sri Vallabha. Shiv Sharma died soon thereafter. Ambika, along with her son, were begging for food and were living a miserable life. There was no end to the taunts and remarks of ridicule by the neighbors. Their Brahmin youth could not bear the inappropriate remarks of the people. He ran towards the river to commit suicide. His helpless mother also wanted to end her life, and she also ran after him. As a fruit of their previous birth's merit, Shripada saw them on the way. He dissuaded them from their suicide attempt. With his boundless compassion, he converted the foolish boy to a learned scholar by his mere will. He instructed Ambika to spend the rest of her life worshipping Shiva. He elaborated at length the result obtained from worshipping Shiva at the time of sunset on Saturdays. He granted her a boon that in her next birth she would be blessed with a son who was equal to him in all respects. However, as there was no one equal to him in all the three worlds, he himself resolved to be born as her son in her ensuing birth. My dear, Shripada's incredible Leela took place in my presence today, which is Friday, May 25th, 1336. Om Sai Ram.